It's now time for the JJBurk Home Show on K-Law 101. For the next 30 minutes, you'll hear information that will save you money around your house. With your hosts, Eric Sherem and Jay Burk.
And a pleasant good morning, Southwest Oklahoma. Another weekend upon us, and it's time for the JJBurk Home Show. Hi, Jay.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Okay, starting off with, it's almost like a recap every week, just to kind of, it's kind of like a continuing saga. The continuing saga of the rebate money from PSO and Centerpoint Energy. And it's good to get updates because you and I have talked and said, okay, where is it heading? Where is it going? And I was interested to find out that, you had several that called up when it started. And then, a recap that once you do your evaluation, there's a third party, a person that comes, in the process, looks it over and said, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then they push it on to PSO, and then they get the rebate. So some of these individuals that were the first out of the gate are already past stage 2, right, and ready certified to get their money.
Yes, we've done a lot already that have gone and had the test in done, and the third party testers tested, and so they're just all we're doing is getting to them now in kind of order. We've kind of got a pecking list of people that have called in first, but at the same time. It's very, very hot out there. I mean, obviously, we've been scorching with heat for the last few weeks, and so it's people that have no air. We try to hopefully get to them right away, and the tester has been absolutely fabulous about coming out and testing almost instantly on those that are totally out. Now we have some people that just are saying, "I want to upgrade for efficiency, and I want that." But we do have those that are saying, "I'm totally out. I have no air. We're dying in here." And there have been houses that in the last week that I've done. That I go to the house thinking, oh, my gosh, it's over 100 degrees outside, and it's 89, 90 degrees, 95 degrees inside the home. And so we've but we do offer temporary air conditioning once we come to you and we give you your evaluation and we decide, yes, we're going to go forward with it. We have temporary air conditioners that we loan out for no charge. That's just something we do to keep you cooling until we can get your system changed out. And the entire time that we're doing the work, you have the temporary air conditioners. Most of the time, they're not window units. We do have some window units, but most of them are the upright units that have the hose that go to the window, and so they're the upright air conditioners that don't need a drain or anything. So they do a pretty good job of they're room air conditioners basically, and they take care of pretty good sized rooms. They won't do your whole entire home, but usually give you 2 or 3 for sure, and so that way at least you can sleep and things like that and function. Some people move them around from window to window. I'm going to be in the kitchen now. I'm going to move it in the kitchen. But anyway, they move them around, and which is really nice because people don't have to move out of their home for a week waiting on. A lot of people have said, well, if I'm going to wait on the PSO and it's going to take me 3 days to get a test or a day to get a test, and then I got to, you got to get equipment, you got to get me on your schedule. I might have to wait a week, blah, 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 and I'm going to be dying in here. And the answer is no. We're going to take care of you. We're going to make sure you have temporaries, and so you're going to still have air conditioning. It probably won't be 70 in there, but at least we can get it down to where it's livable, that you can make it through it. So that was a big thing. But a lot of times right now, people are calling because, again, their units are totally down right now. And this is the time of year that we're already slammed with calls, having some days 50, 60, 70 calls a day. But we have people on call. They're working early morning till the morning. We got off some of the guys were off at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But so we're not going to stop until we have you at least evaluated, and if we can get you going, we will. If we can temporary you till we can get something going, we'll do that. Whatever it takes to make you comfortable, that's our job.
We have got a review of frequently asked questions, and each week it's, I heard the show. Could you explain a little bit more about this? And we're still talking about insulation and ductwork and how the systems work. So give us a little kind of rundown of some of the frequently asked questions that you've had this past week.
Yeah, we've had quite a few people call just saying, I've got a unit that's only 4 years old, but my ductwork is terrible, and I have terrible airflow in certain rooms. Certain rooms are really, really hot, and, in the wintertime they're really, really cold, and can that be fixed? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. And so we usually go out to the ones we've gone to this last week. I've done 2 or 3. I've even had people that upgraded windows and got PSO money. There's so many things that you can do on the PSO program, but we were able to get them new ductwork, blew in some insulation, and added a couple of windows around their house. You don't have to change every window, but they did a couple windows. They do solar screens. There's things that they can do that they don't have to put a new system in to be able to qualify for the PSO money. So A lot of them got, a couple $1,000s for sure off of their, so if it was a $5,000 deal, they paid $2,500 to get it all done. And so people were excited. I mean, to know that it wasn't, I have to replace my system to qualify for PSO. So we've had a lot of those calls recently. So if you're thinking that, please call us. We'll do our best. My guys hate that they have to be in attics where it's 140, 150 degrees on 100-degree days. And I hate it too because it's unbearable. So we try to come early mornings and get out of there by early afternoons. But that's what we do for a living. So that's where our goal is to make you, comfortable and to make it right. Now, a lot of times we've gone to these houses, and which is really kind of sad. So I try to tell people, before you buy a unit, before you buy a system, check around for the people that do energy type stuff, that worry about your energy costs, that worry about not just a warranty and the cheapest guy on the market. I mean, yeah, sometimes that's all you get. But I've been to houses that people said, you're cheaper than the guy I thought was the cheapest because of the PSO money and the CenterPoint money and the rebates from UJ and the rebates from Lennox. Yeah, we can compete there. We can get you the rebates. But sometimes people get the units and they don't, it's just swapping out a unit. They never think about sealing the air conditioning, or they never worry about insulation levels. And so we have units out there that are way too big for the houses or maybe even way too small. I had a 3-ton and, the old guy said, that's all I really needed if it was new. And he put it in and now I still have a house that it runs continuously. Well, sometimes that's ductwork and insulation. We can fix it with that. But sometimes once we do the load calculation and see what size units you need for your house, you really needed 3.5 tons. Now a lot of times we've seen the 5-ton unit and they only needed sometimes 3.5.
Quick question, because I don't know, and I'm going to ask the question. So what is the difference when they say a 3-ton and a 3.5? What's the half-ton difference?
Well, it's huge because, for one, it's more energy to run it, and not only that, humidity levels. I mean, we can't control humidity if we have a big coil that can't get rid of the cold. I mean, we're blowing air across the cold coil, and it's making water. And so we've got to get that down the drain. But if we're circulating it so fast through there and that blower's running so fast, it's just going to throw that humidity in the house. And I don't know if a lot of people, I'm sure they're listening, are saying, my house feels cool, but it sometimes feels sticky. I've been in those places where it feels like it's cooling, but it's not just a comfortable cool. It's not I call it crispy cool. I don't really know. That's Jay's word.
Never took like salads,
Yeah,
like
no,
a crisper in the refrigerator or something.
I know. I'm trying to explain it to customers too, and they kind of look at me. But the whole idea is that you feel comfortable, and you shouldn't feel like, when you slip into your bed at night, it's nice and cool, and you feel sticky. That's not the cool we want you to have. And so a lot of times it is ductwork. A lot of times it is the install. How important, one of the things that somebody asked me this week, which I thought was just absolutely important, was that, you're getting PSO test in before, you're getting PSO test out after we do the work. So that's a guarantee. But what is another thing that I tell people every time? Get a city inspection. Get a city inspection. Because
and why is that?
Well, it's imperative that you have them. Number one is you make sure that guy that put it in properly, and it's safe, and it's installed, and they're not looking for efficiency. That's not what city officials look for, because they're certified through the city, the state, and the federal government. This is we have a national code. It's international. It's the entire United States. We work under one code. Our Bible, if you will, of heating and air is what we all look at. So from state to state, you look at the same, pages, that we all have the same thing. But a lot of times I go to houses that people that did not get an inspection, and the unit's installed improperly, and it's not right, it's not safe, and people are end up having water dripping through their ceilings because it overflows, and it's a mess, and it's just a nightmare. I've seen gas lines not right, I've seen vent pipe not hooked up, and I'm talking about this year. I mean, it's been that bad. Any gas appliance that you put in, hot water tank, furnace, even if it's not a gas furnace, even if it's electric hot water tank, get a city inspection. If you don't, you take a chance that if something, God forbid, were to happen to your home, your homeowner's insurance is going to want to know, when was it put in? How long has it been in? And they're going to find out. And they're going to know, this unit's only 5 years old. Who installed it? Well, Larry's Heating and Air installed it. Well, did he get an inspection? Nope. Well, will your homeowner's insurance cover? Probably not. So you're stuck with a house that, you may be able to get an attorney and make them pay it, but you don't want to go down that road. And it's up to the contractor to call those in. It's not up to the homeowner. I had a homeowner this week that a plumber had put a hot water tank in, and it was horrible. And I said, you got to call and make them put it in. They called back, and the guy said, no, we're not calling it in. So she called the city, and the city said, oh, yeah, you're going to call it in. You're going to call it in. We'll stop you from working here. So the idea is, and I go out sometimes outside the city limits, and I see we have state inspectors, but there's very few of those, and they can't hit every home. In Lawton, we're lucky. And a lot of people say, oh, God, I don't want that city inspector in here. He's going to look for something bad inside my house. No, he's not. He's not. He's there to look at what he's called out there to look at, which is your heating and air unit or your, and I just see it all the time. And I just think that I feel sorry for people, because if it was city inspected, that would have never passed. That would have never been a go. The city would have said no. That had made them do it right. And so then people say, well, that guy that I had, the other guy, he was $1,000 higher. Well, yeah, probably, because he was going to do it right. And so we end up seeing some bad stuff. And so all I say is make sure you're getting city inspections. Make sure that you're getting, if you're doing the PSO thing, you'll get those inspections, but make it legit.
I think we've over communicated, and well so, that the PSO program is not just for a complete, overhaul of your system. And that's what I think is nice, is that it talks about all of waste energy, that there could be money. It's not going to be the full capacity if you were going to replace it, but if it was just insulation or if it's ductwork, stuff like that, that does apply. So it doesn't automatically say Jay's got to go from A to Z, from outside to inside and everything in order to apply for this money. And that's not the case. Other thing is CenterPoint Energy. You've had a lot of questions still about gas and what they'll provide, and they'll actually bring the line to you. I mean, those are questions that we need to answer as well.
Yeah, a lot of people are still saying to me, oh gosh, I don't want to put gas back in because my yard line was messed up. And so years ago, I cut my gas off to my house, and now I'm using total electric house, but my electric bills are $400 in the summertime. And they're still $300 in the winter, because I'm running all electric heat. And I'm like, yep, it's like plugging in space heaters all throughout your house when you're running straight electric heat. A lot of people don't even have heat pumps. They have just straight electric heat. So not very efficient, not efficient at all. And so you can also qualify for the PSO with getting that fixed, but you can also qualify for CenterPoint.
Both?
Yes, both. If you qualify, and if you decide, I'm going to change that electric unit to a gas unit, you can not only get the PSO money, which you'll get, but you can also get $2,000 for going back to a gas furnace, and they will bring the gas line to your home.
Wow.
And they put the meter up by your house like your house is a brand new house. That's what they're doing now. And they're putting the meters up by the house, and all you got to do is run the gas line just into your home where your furnace is. And then most people even change out their hot water tanks, go to tankless, or they go to a high-efficiency hot water tank, and CenterPoint gives them money for that. So don't be freaked out about, I can never have gas back because I got a bad gas line in my yard. Now that's old news. CenterPoint has said, we want you back as a customer. We will put the gas line into your home. And then from this day forward, even if you had a gas line go bad, I had somebody ask me this week. Well, if that gas line goes bad, 10 years down the road, I'm going to be back to having to figure out what to do to replace that gas line. No, they take responsibility for that gas line all the way to the meter. So that gas line is.
But now the meter's next to the house.
Now it's next to the house.
Before the meter was in the alley. Exactly. And it was between you and the alley, which could be a long way depending on your yard.
Well, a lot of times, my dad was a plumber. I can't tell you how many gas lines we installed, but I'm going to, it was not cheap. And so now they're doing that for as part of it. So don't be discouraged thinking I've got an electric unit, and I probably, PSO is going to be mad if I change over to a gas furnace. No, they're not.
Gas furnace replacement range, what do they range?
The gamut's pretty, depending on
how size, house, and all the rest of that stuff.
Size, how big, But, you can get a really nice gas system, and gas furnace and coil. And, used to, Eric, you could go out and just change out the furnace. And anymore, that's just not the case anymore, because we've done, R22 is going away. The old Freon is going away. and pretty much gone. No new systems are made with it. Then they did a thing called dry charge, where their units come with nothing in them, and you could add R22 if you wanted to. I don't know why anybody in the world would ever want to do that, but they did. And so now we've got people that have R22, and the answer is you have to change to the 410A, which is we call it the new refrigerant. It's been out for years and years and years now. But a lot of people, when they change, they say, I need to get that new refrigerant. Yes, that's it. You're going to get the new refrigerant in any system you buy now. And that's the only thing that's made. So, I honestly believe that, I've seen people be able to get units for $5,000, complete systems with PSO help. And all the way, there's some that even, they're getting everything in their house fixed. That was the case. And sometimes the system is, let's say a system was $8,500. By the time they got the PSO money and the CenterPoint money and the JJBurk money and the Linux money, it was less money than what the original price for just the system alone was going to cost.
Wow.
The rebates picked up everything else. They picked up your new ductwork, your insulation, Now
you wonder why everybody's calling and you're so busy.
Yeah, they're all like, all right, when's it going to run out? And my answer to that is, one more time.
Still.
I don't know.
No.
Just get it tested. Get us out there. Let us look at it. It's free.
It's free.
I come. Jay comes. So I will come out there. I've been working from really, it's 8 to 8, same great rate. I've been doing past 8. So the other night we got through at 10:30. So I'm out doing estimates all day and all night, and I will do everything I can to get to you as quickly as I can. And I promise you, we will talk whether or not you need a new system or whether or not you need just an upgrade of insulation and other stuff. So we're here to help you.
JJBurkAir.com. One way you can just go to the website if you want more information. Maybe you can listen to one of our archive shows or call toll free
1-800-AIR-REPAIR.
All right, we're going to be back and talk a little bit more about a decent program, which is going to affect our community as well. So we'll take that little brief time out and be right back. The JJBurk Home Show right here on KLAW 101.
Hi, I'm Jay Burke from JJBurk Heating and Air. At JJBurk, we've combined the rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy to save you up to $7,000 on the most energy-efficient systems available. JJBurk is a 2014 and 2015 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We're still the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or go to JJBurkAir.com and learn how you can save thousands today. I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
All right, JJBurkAir.com. Call the 1-800 number as well. Make sure that you get Jay out there to at least give you a free assessment. So he's not going to charge you anything. And you know what? So the straightforward honesty is which I like, and I know that we've talked about that. And many may not know you because I know, and people have told me at length, calling out of the phone book, and I've shared some experiences with you before that someone it was late Friday. And, just trying to make the calls, can't get to you. There was one person that could get to them, and they came out, and I saw their little estimate of all of the stuff that it was going to be. And it seemed reasonable that they could come out, but it wasn't in the end result. And so, a lot of people have that tendency to say, okay, well, if I call up Jay, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to come up and he's going to say, okay, yeah, even though my system may be 5 years old, you say, oh, yeah, you're going to have to replace the system, and you're going to have to do all the duct work, and, yeah, your insulation is nothing, and so dollar signs going through the roof. And that's not the case. And you have many, many people that have been thankful to say, you don't do that. You're going to be straightforward enough because, and this is what I like, the checks and balances, especially when it's the PSO money or the CenterPoint Energy, a third party comes in that's not related to you. They're not part of you. They don't get paid by you, and they don't get paid by PSO. So everybody loves that neutral party because, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to go between. I'm just going to say, yeah, this is exactly what you need. So it would do you no good to oversell, upsell to something and say, no, a third party comes in and say, no, you don't need this and you don't need that. So if you start from the beginning with that, you're not going to have to be embarrassed to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upcharge you or whatever.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing. I've heard people say, well, you're going to save 62% on a heat and air unit. This was just in the last few years. And I would go out and I would tell people, no, you're not going to save 62%. This thing says it can save you up to 40% in a brochure, but it's a brochure, and you don't have any insulation, and you don't, and this is back before the PSO stuff. And now it's like, okay, hey, you know what? They're telling me exactly what I'm going to save. They give you a report at the end that tells you average, this is exactly how much on gas and electric you're going to save. And some of them have been thousands of dollars a year. I mean, I always tell people, you can go on vacation on the utility companies. You've been paying it anyway. You've been paying it. Don't pay it anymore. You know, you don't have to pay it anymore. And we have financing available. I mean, there have been people that have some of the customers that we've had, and we've got oodles of customers. If you think, hey, you know what? Jay, oodles. Like oodles. That's a lot. Okay. That's a J word again.
Okay. I got
you. But a lot of people have said, tell them to call us and we'll tell them how it helped us. And so we've got referrals that we can give you, hundreds of them that will say, this was the best program we ever got involved in. And we would have done it years ago had we had any idea that it would solve all of our issues that we've had with airflow in rooms and air quality, and we've had itchy eyes, and all of that stopped when they did the sealant and they made sure my house was sealed up. And so, you know, we've been very, very happy with the program, and we've been very proud to be a part of the program. Now, the money is limited. Call now if you're interested. If you don't,
it'll be January.
At least January.
Right.
It may be February before they even think about it. And will it come back at the rate it's at today? We don't know that either. They may say it's half the rebate now. We don't know what that next year will hold. So please, you know.
You don't want to be the one that the neighbor got the deal, and then 3 years later, well, if you would have called, you would have got that full deal. Now it's half the deal. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you get.
And he's one up on you.
That's right.
And you live next to him.
Yeah. Instead of 5,000, you only got 2.
Yeah.
You know, and there have been those people already that have said, I missed out the first go around. I'm not missing out the second go around. And they waited and they put window units in. And they did what they had to do to get through until July 15th when we started it back. And again, you know, call us. It's an easy call, and then you can make the decision. You know, and you can sit down and we can sit in your home and make a decision on giving you some ideas of what it's going to take.
Okay, we want to talk about this program you were briefly telling me about before we started, a kind of a give back program that you're involved in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there's a program that I was actually asked to come to a meeting a few weeks ago at the Hilton Garden Inn, and it's called Operation Finally Home. We've been blessed as a company, and we've been blessed as a city and a nation to have people that have gone to war and sacrificed everything for our freedoms. And I felt like that it was something I wanted to be involved in. It basically is where this company has done one already in Oklahoma. I think Bixby was where they did the one here in Oklahoma already. But they've done, I mean, quite a few homes across the nation. The company is based out of Texas, but they have people everywhere. But 100% of the money that is raised goes into building this home. They build a new home. It's not like, remember the Extreme Home Makeover where they went in and they did these houses that made them $1 million homes, and these people couldn't afford the $1 million home.
Right.
It just couldn't afford the upkeep. I can't afford the upkeep on $1 million home. I mean, it's expensive to keep your home anyway. So what they do is they make the person has to be 70% disabled vet, and that's what these homes are designed for. They do the vetting. They pick out the person. But City National Bank is really the lead on this, and Colin Hawkins is the builder. They've already picked a lot out on the west side of town, and they've already picked the family, I understand. I don't have that information, but we're going to do the heating and air in there, and we've gotten Lennox to donate the equipment, and we're going to do the install for free as our way of giving back. But you can donate to it. Go to Operation Finally Home. I believe it's operationfinallyhome.org. Go there, and you can actually donate to the home being built in Lawton. They're going to have some other upcoming events where you can be a part of it, and they're going to disclose who the recipient of the home is going to be. But it's a nice home, which they so rightly deserve. But they do have to be 70% disabled, and so I know that the people they've picked out, they've told me were just ecstatic that they were picked. And they know that this may not be the only one. They had a lot of people apply online for the money for the house in Lawton, and so City National Bank gave the lot. They own some lots out there in that area that they're going to talk about. And anyway, we're just happy to be part of it. But it's Operation Finally Home, and so keep your eyes and ears open because we're going to have some other events coming up, and we need the support of all Lawtonians to help make sure we get this house built for a deserving family.
That's cool. It's on the horizon, so check that out. Employment opportunities, I'm sure, are still available at JJBurk.
All the time. We constantly.
What you need, we'll send them your way.
We're needing them. We actually still need some helpers, and so people that can actually stand the heat. If you don't like the heat, don't apply, because that's where we work. In the summertime, if you don't like the cold, don't apply, because that's where we work. We never go to a house usually that is just perfect, because why would they need us?
That's right.
So, but we need good people. We need people that can pass drug tests and can background checks. We do all of that on our employees. And so, but we're looking for helpers. We're still looking for customer service reps, people that answer the phones and make appointments for people. We're looking for that as well. So if you're interested in a full-time job, we even have some part-time openings. If you're interested in something part-time that you can do, that you'd like to do, please come by our office, pick up an application. Please, no phone calls. We still have people calling in. We just don't take anything over the phone. We're too busy to have to deal with that. And so come put your application in, and we will call you in for an interview.
Great opportunity. So you can also drop by in person for that, any of those. But if you want heat and air issues and you're wanting to know about the free PSO program, call 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or JJBurkAir.com. A great opportunity to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, Jay, that's kind of this week's show, just like that.
It's wonderful.
And from time to time, we'll have some special guests. We hope to still got we're working on Hard Rock Services in the future to talk granite countertops. I know that's something. We just had Brady's just talking about cabinets about a week or so ago. So, we just never know. We just talk about not only heat and air, but ways that you can save in your home. And that's the key. That's why it's the home show, not just J Burk Heat and Air show, So we're going to talk about how all kinds of ways I know you can save in your home.
Yeah, we've even got an alarm company, Safe and Sound, has said they would like to come, and so we're going to have them here in the next few weeks to talk about alarm systems and different security systems for your home and what to look for. So can't wait for that to happen. All
right, JJBurk Home Show each and every Saturday morning from 9 till 9:30, and I guess we'll talk to you next weekend.
See you next week.
Hi, I'm Jay Burk from JJBurk Heating and Air. At JJBurk, we've combined the rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy to save you up to $7,000 on the most energy-efficient systems available. JJBurk is a 2014 and 2015 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We're still the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or go to JJBurkAir.com and learn how you can save thousands today. I'm Jay Burk, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Join us this time every Saturday morning for the latest technologies and professional advice to help you save money around your house. This has been the JJBurk Home Show.
I'm Jay Burk, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.